I am going to teach you the only word you need to know to have an amazing shot at being successful on YouTube. That word is consistency. It's pretty painfully simple, and keep that in mind throughout this discussion because we are here to dissect one of the absolute OGs of my niche, being Mr. Matt Crawford, better known as the king of cringe, Tekking101. Now, to kick things off on something of a controversial note, Tekking is my, how do I put this? He's like my anti-inspiration for becoming a YouTuber. And what I mean by that is that when I was looking at this space for entertainment, primarily about One Piece, what I found was the Tekking archetype, which I have since described as dude in a room style content, and hence where this channel derives its name from actually, because this channel is playing into that style. But when I wanted to launch into One Piece way back when, I had a mission to do the exact opposite, where Tekking would make 20 to 40 minute, sometimes longer videos, consisting of mainly face cam work. I decided to make videos significantly shorter at about the 5 to 10 minute length and using exclusively screenshots. That's called product differentiation, by the way, and it's a very useful idea for starting projects because whatever you want to do, just look at who's already doing it and then do the exact opposite. Because that way, even though we're both sort of competing for the views of One Piece fans, we're not actually competing because what we offer are two radically different experiences. Whereas if I decided to make 30-minute videos on a face cam, then we would be direct competitors. And thus, me as a starting channel would probably have no chance of breaking through. Or maybe not no chance, but a much lower chance. Now that aside, I want to make it clear that I have a lot of respect for Mr. Matt, primarily because he is a pioneer of this field. The oldest video on his channel is from 2009, whereas I didn't even think of getting into YouTube until 2015. So he played a pretty big part in molding the space, and it's a situation where I definitely stand on the shoulders of giants. Because where Tekking had a bit of an uncharted journey, I get to come in and then see 6 years of his roadmap and then carefully plan a more streamlined journey. Before that, though, a bit about the Tekking brand, I would describe him as quirky, exciting cringe. I think everyone has the same reaction the first time they see Tekking, which is, I'm not sure about this. And that does risk turning some people away for good, but eventually that cringy nature actually becomes his greatest strength. Because it's not offered by anyone else, it's very unique to Matt, and it becomes quite charming for his audience. Plus, he has one super solid core feature going on, which is that he is the everyman. Like, he's literally a dude talking about anime in his bedroom. He is pretty much everyone who is actually watching his videos, which makes him easy to identify with. And there's also something quite comforting about hearing a down-to-earth guy speak excitedly about that thing you love, which is definitely something I neglected to think about when I first analyzed him way back in the day. That's fine though, it is a solid and genuine brand. However, the main lesson that I took from Tekking, and this is huge, it has a lot to do with that word I mentioned at the beginning of the video, which is consistency. Tekking has a really solid individual brand, but his content strategy drives me absolutely insane. And there is just so much we can learn from this. Firstly, let's examine topics. Tekking is not your typical 2022 YouTube channel, and I would attribute that to the fact that he is a revered veteran of the old world. The sheer variety of topics on his main channel paint a historically accurate picture of what the YouTube platform used to be. Taking a brief look at his homepage, you can see immediately that he has One Piece discussions, chapter reviews, Bleach, news, theories, Pokemon, live streams, personal content like a studio tour, and even more vloggy style stuff like this video documenting his panel at a convention. And even a YouTube short here and there because we didn't have everything. And everything I've just mentioned was posted within the last 2 weeks. Now I say this as lovingly as I can, it's a bit of a mess. The way I would describe what I see here is my bedroom as a teenager, full of unrelated miscellaneous stuff that is really cool on its own but doesn't necessarily work together. And I think the initial counter thought here is, so what, internet man? Diversifying is good, right? Because you're appealing to different audiences and thus expanding your potential reach. Well, yes, but mostly no. And to make clear why this is a problem, let's talk about how YouTube decides to serve you videos. When you click on a video by a certain creator, let's say Tekking, because why not? YouTube will then be told to serve another Tekking video to you in the future on your homepage, your recommendations, wherever, etc. And it's what you do with that next decision that's so important. Because if you don't choose to click that next video, that sends a message to YouTube, and it makes your chances of being fed a third video much more unlikely. Conversely, if you do click the second, then you are practically guaranteed a third and a fourth, and so on and so forth. When you click videos by creators, you are stacking the odds in their favor. When you don't, you're effectively telling YouTube that, I can do without that guy. So let's put this into practice. I click a Tekking video because I'm interested in watching his One Piece discussion. Great, says YouTube. You seem to like this guy, so let's recommend another video. But the video they recommend is a Pokemon live stream. And since I have no interest in watching someone play Pokemon, I don't click that one. Then YouTube goes to itself, he didn't like that one. And it makes the machine think twice serious about offering me the next teching video. And this gets worse because YouTube will probably go for that third offering because it's still a 50-50 chance, but that third offering is a Bleach discussion video. Problem is, I don't care about Bleach in this scenario. I clicked this guy for One Piece, and after that point, the data YouTube has tells it that I have a 33.3% chance of clicking a teching video when I see it. So it's probably going to stop, or at the very least significantly reduce offering them to me in favor of channels with higher chances. And of course, it's not that simple. The YouTube system is almost terrifyingly complex, but that is a very basic breakdown of how it works and why radically diversifying topics is a horrendous decision in 2022 and probably has been for the past, I'd say 5 or so years. What YouTube wants is consistency. It wants you as a creator to be reliable and not rock the boat too much. It gets worse though, because you can often forgive diverse topics if you like the creator enough, but this here absolute mad lad has one other unbelievably huge factor stacked against him, which is video length. On his homepage, you can see that videos range anywhere from 1 minute to 8 hours in terms of length. And even though those are the two most extreme examples, videos can still vary on average from 15 minutes to an hour, which for me is way too inconsistent, because those are fundamentally two very different target audiences. The kind of people who want a quick 15-minute fix versus the more relaxed audience who have the opportunity to let content 45 minutes to an hour to play out. And yes, there will obviously be some crossover. There's a core teching audience who will watch absolutely everything he does, but the viewer base is primarily fragmented. Because here's the thing about human psychology. When a person finds something they like, their immediate response is to say, I likes that thing. Now give me the exact same thing, but different. So a YouTuber needs to make their content as consistent as possible while still evolving and offering something new, which sounds like a complete mind-boggling oxymoron. How can I stay the same but different? Well, one of the greatest tools in that fight is video length. Because if you can't offer someone the same topic or the same video format, what you can do is sweeten the deal if you offer the same length so that the viewer feels like they know what they're getting themselves into on some level. A fantastic example of this is MrBeast. He does radically different weird stuff in each video, and his channel is dangerously addictive because every video is around the same average length. You can watch a 12-minute video and then say to yourself, yeah, I could do that again. Whereas the channel would not work anywhere near as well if it was inconsistent and had a 12-minute video followed by like an hour-long video, because that hour feels like a much bigger commitment and a huge unknown because you're only familiar with the shorter experience. And it works the other way around as well. If you watch the hour video first, you're probably less likely to click the 12-minute one because you're like, I liked the hour one. And it may sound like I'm seriously overanalyzing this, but when you're looking at a video in your recommended feed, all of this decision making happens in your mind in like less than a second. So to process that information, there need to be as few barriers to entry as possible. And a radically different video length is a big barrier, whether it's shorter or longer. Now, to make things a bit worse, medium to long form creators already have it pretty tough on this platform. The average YouTube viewer over 18 in 2021 spends 41.9 minutes on the platform per day, and they spend that time watching multiple videos. So to the average viewer, it is a big ask to feed them a video that is long or longer than the average amount of time they spend on the website altogether. So if Tekking posts, say, a 40 to 50 minute One Piece chapter review, that video is going to be flat out unwatchable for a lot of platform users because it exhausts their daily allocation. And it's also much harder to watch in certain circumstances, like say commuting to work. I used to do this all the time, spend 15 minutes heading to work on a train, and I would be watching YouTube during that journey. However, I would need to find videos that suit that time need, because I didn't want to start something and not be able to finish it. But most importantly to me with teching, there is no clear value proposition because of that lack of consistency. You never quite know what you're going to get on this channel. It could be a 20-minute Bleach discussion, it could be a 50-minute One Piece review, it could be a 2-hour gaming live stream, or it could even be a 60-second YouTube short. And again, there is a core audience who will watch all of these, but overall there is no doubt in my mind that this is hindering growth. Because there are going to be people interested in all of these topics, but the Venn diagram crossover is so small compared to the greater potential out there. Because overwhelmingly the One Piece people are not clicking the Bleach or the live stream or the YouTube short videos, which means that they're statistically more unlikely to be fed another One Piece video from teching because they're rejecting so many other offerings. And you can say the same for the people who are there for Bleach, the people who are there for the live streams, and the people who are there for the shorts and whatever else. Now, some of you may point out at this stage that I am very clearly wrong. I mean, the dude has over 650,000 subscribers and he takes in about 3 million videos a month. Videos? No, he takes in about 3 million views a month. 3 million videos would be Whew. But again, he has over 650,000 subscribers and a butt ton of views, but that's because he's been on this platform, and listen carefully to this number, 12 years. He is a true OG who built a following in the very wild west of the platform, which allows him to survive and thrive to this very day. However, you, the person watching this, you cannot start a channel with this content strategy in 2022. You will fall completely flat. And as for Matt himself, I honestly believe that if he was more consistent across the board, then he would be at well over 1 million subscribers by now, and probably the predominant One Piece YouTuber on the platform. So if it was me, I would keep all of the live streams and real life stuff on a completely separate channel altogether, like a Tekking personal channel. And the people who want to watch that long form and real life stuff can go there and get that constant fix, whilst the people who don't keep clicking the videos on your main channel. Same with the shorts. In fact, oh man, I would probably just get rid of the shorts altogether. YouTube shorts, they're not great. I'd also decide on a sort of uniform video length. It doesn't really matter what that length is. What matters is that it's relatively consistent. But here's something we should also keep in mind. I've spent a lot of time analyzing Tekking as well as almost all of my peers. So I'm looking at things from my perspective. YouTube is a bizarre passion of mine. I love strategy and I love dissecting various marketing phenomena. But as I said before, Tekking's greatest strength is that he is a relatable dude in a room. He's out there on this platform just doing whatever the crap he wants without a care in the world. And there is something very respectable about that. I think that comes across in his videos as well. He's just happy to be doing and talking about whatever. It's nice and authentic, and you will probably not find that elsewhere because I guarantee you there is never going to be another channel like this. YouTube will not allow it. So all the power in the world to him because he's doing what makes him happy. So what else matters? You, on the other hand, just remember that if you're keen on getting involved in YouTube, you need to be a lot more consistent in everything.